Object-oriented programming languages, such as Visual Basic for applications, let you create and manipulate objects using their properties, methods, and events. Microsoft Excel is a huge program with thousands of objects, but the program team defined every element of Excel, from the application itself to the individual cells, as objects you can manipulate using VBA commands. Taken as a whole, those definitions are called the Excel Object Model. It's not practical for me to show you the entire Excel object model. The authors of the book Excel 2007 VBA, Programmer's Reference, from Rocks Press printed more or less the entire Excel 2007 object model in their book, and it took up 336 large format pages. Rather than try to work through all that material, I'll focus on a few of the most common objects and describe how they relate to elements within Excel. Let's start with the application object, which represents the Excel program itself. The application object has many properties, methods, and events, so I'll concentrate on a few examples. The application object's properties include version, which is the program's version number. Excel 2007 is Excel 12, for example. Caption, which is the text that appears on the title bar of the Excel program window. And default file path, which contains the name of the directory Excel uses when it opens files. In addition to standalone properties such as caption, the application object also has properties such as workbooks, which is a collection of all open workbooks. For example, if you have a workbook named Monthly Report and another named Sales Summary open, then the application object workbooks collection contains two workbook objects, one each for Monthly Report and Sales Summary. So, yes, a property's value can be a reference to another object or a collection of objects. The application object also has methods such as calculate, which updates all of the workbook's formulas, check spelling, which starts the spelling checker, and quit, which closes Microsoft Excel. The application object's events include sheet calculate, which detects when Excel has recalculated the results of any worksheet's formulas, new workbook, which detects when the user has created a new workbook, and a workbook before close, which runs some code after the user has elected to close the workbook, but before Excel actually closes it. The workbook before close event is very useful if you want to verify the contents of a workbook before the application closes it. One level down from the application object is the workbook object. The workbook object has many properties, including name, which is the workbook's name, sheets, which is a collection that contains references to every worksheet and chart sheet in the workbook, and saved, which indicates whether any changes have been made to the workbook since it was last saved. The workbook object's methods include close, which closes the workbook, printout, which prints the workbook, and save, which saves the workbook. Workbook events include before close, which runs the code you specify before the workbook closes, new sheet, which detects when a new sheet has been added to the workbook, and before save, which runs after a user starts to save the workbook, but before it's actually written to disk. Finally, the worksheet object represents the worksheets within a workbook. Please note, though, that a workbook can contain two major types of sheets, worksheets and chart sheets. If you want to affect every sheet in your workbook, you reference them using the Sheets collection. If you just want to work with the worksheets, then you can use the Worksheets collection of worksheet objects. A worksheet object has properties such as name, which is the name of the worksheet, used range, which returns the addresses of the cells used within the worksheet, and visible, which indicates whether the worksheet is visible or hidden. The worksheet object's methods include activate, which makes the worksheet the active worksheet, copy, which copies the worksheet to another location, and delete, which removes the worksheet from the workbook. Worksheet events include activate, which runs code when the worksheet becomes active, deactivate, which runs code when the worksheet is no longer the active worksheet, and change, which detects when any worksheet cell is changed by the user or by an update from external data. You can use VBA to manipulate Excel pretty much any way you want, but there is one important exception. That exception concerns charts in Excel 2007. After Excel 2003, the Excel team completely revamped how the program created and managed charts. That work was completed so late in the Excel 2007 product cycle, the team had no time to build the programming hooks to let users manipulate charts using the Excel object model. For example, if you record a macro that includes steps where you manipulate a chart in Excel 2007, you'll find those steps are actually missing when you run the macro. Chart macros are fine in Excel 2003, and the programming team was able to hook up the new charting system in Excel 2010. But the inability to manipulate Excel 2007 charts in VBA is a significant limitation. Even with that limitation, the Excel object model provides you with the leverage you need to make Excel perform the tasks you want.